Welcome to a brand new episode of SnobCast. This week is all about the Just for Laughs Festival right here in Montreal, and I couldn't be more excited. We have a trio of guests on. What is my life? This is it. Thank you all for tuning in last week and the weeks before, and just for all your comments and your feedback regarding the episodes. It means a lot. Just for Laughs Festival is well underway. It's up until the 31st of July here in Montreal. So many shows to catch. Where do you start? Well, you got to do multiple shows in a night. That's how you do it. That's how I've always done it. I think the most I've done in one night is like 4 shows, I think. Actually, that's probably a lie because during the day at the festival, they tend to do like podcast, like live podcast recordings. So I attend some of those. So maybe I would say between 4 and 5 shows in a day. It's just designed that way so you can catch multiple shows, you know. I love it. I love I love the whole month of July. And in August, it's just depression. So this week on the show, holy shit, we got Josh Adam Meyers, we got Atsuko Okatsuka, and we got the legendary Randy Feltface, the first non-human to ever be on this podcast. Before we get into that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, Snob Media on social media, YouTube, and also Lino Creatives. That guy, praise the Lord, he's the best. Best fucking producer, editor, videographer. If you got a business and you want it to be seen, this is the guy to contact. Lino Creatives, look him up on social media. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're feeling the excitement. But without further ado, Josh Adam Meyers, everyone.
You know, I have a lot of day. This whole day is a lot of podcasting and stuff. So,
and some press.
It's just full. It's a day. It's a day, and I need to like take the night off. Like I think I'm either gonna watch Stranger Things tonight because I've never watched it, or I'm gonna fucking go see Thor and just eat a bucket popcorn.
Sick.
Yeah,
you know what the thing is? I approve both of those things because you've never seen Stranger Things at all.
I watched the first season, but I haven't watched any other ones. I don't know, man. It's whatever. Like I just watched The Boys, and I really liked The Boys.
I heard great things.
Yeah, Boys rules. But it's violent. You know, it's evil. It's great.
Yeah,
I like that stuff, man. I really do.
Yeah.
Stranger Things, I'm not excited about watching it all.
I can tell you that the last season is fucking long. The episodes are like movie length.
That's what I heard.
So I'm kind of like, what the fuck, you know?
I just need something to put on at the end of the night when I get home from spots, and you know, unless most nights I get home around between 11 and like 1, and so I need like an hour, and which I need to stop doing is eating late. Like I need to stop eating late because it's fucking up my throat, it's fucking up my voice from like indigestion. And it's been getting better, and then I found Oreos, and now I'm eating Oreos at night. And I woke up this morning, and I have a speech therapist that I work with, and I've been working with for a long time, and it was like you're trying to like hit notes or do things, and it's like you can't. And so it's like, fuck, man, that's gotta be because I didn't really perform hard. I had like 2 shows last night, but I didn't really overextend myself. So I need to it's the food.
Yeah, so tonight just take it easy, bro. Just take it easy.
I'm going to.
Last night, were you doing a goddamn comedy jam?
No, I'm not. The jam I do very sporadically, especially here in New York. We don't really do it in New York. I've done it at the Cellar. I did it at the Village Underground a couple of times. We think about 4 of them, and they were great. And I'm doing a one-off at the Stand in New York City in September, which could lead to more, but I don't know if it's going to be like a monthly thing because it's a lot to get everybody out there. But it's more of an LA thing and then festivals.
Sure.
In LA, I post the lineup, it sells out, I fly in, and it's like they know it, they love it. I don't have to. And also, I think it's like easier to sell it there because there's just so much star power in Los Angeles.
Right.
And New York, there are as well, but not nearly like, you know, the David Spades, the Kevin Nealons. There's like lineages of famous names that will sell tickets, and on top of like just the name of the show. And New York has that, but all those guys are all curmudgeon-y old Jewish dudes that are like, I don't want to sing a song. What are you talking about? You know?
I actually want to talk about this because first of all, welcome to SnobCast, and
Thank you.
We're looking forward to having you here at the Just for Laughs Festival in Montreal. You're doing the Nasty Show, which is already just in its name is everything you'd expect it to be and more. I spoke to Bob Kelly a few weeks ago, and I was like, "Hey, are you trying to like out dirty fucking everybody who goes on stage?" And he was like, "No, we don't do that." You know, what's your approach to that, to doing that show?
I don't know if I really have an approach per se. I just get to do a lot of the material about. Can I cuss?
Yeah.
I can just talk about fucking and
Yeah.
my experiences with it and my observations. You know, nobody on that lineup is going to do what I do. We might have the same kind of quasi subject matters, but I can guarantee none of the people on that lineup sing. So, you know, mine's going to be more of a party, and I'm going to, you know, I'll probably go through the audience and find out what music they fuck to, and make fun of it. And it's just going to be a party. It's a show that I've been wanting to do for a long time. You know, the year before I got New Faces in 2013, I got all the way to the final showcases. And this is when Robbie Praw was in charge. And remember Robbie, like, I went up to him to thank him for the showcase, and he shook my hand. He goes, "You're not getting New Faces this year." And I was like, "Oh," but he goes, "But keep doing what you're doing because you're going to get it eventually." And he's like, "You're going to get the Nasty Show." He's like, "So keep doing it." And so that was, you know, that was 10 years ago.
Fuck.
And you know, I've been back to the JFL in every, you know, except for doing a solo show, which will be next.
You've done everything.
I've done it. I've done the jam. I bring a podcast. I've gone for tapings. I've done New Faces. It's like, I love being a part of this family, and I love Just for Laughs, and I love Bruce, and I love Nick.
Yeah.
And this lineup on the Nasty Show, I couldn't be more excited about, because Big J is one of my best friends.
Good guy.
So to be able to like do the shows and then go to his hotel room, smoke pot, and watch stupid videos is something we do already. So I'm really excited, and then I love everybody else. So I think that's kind of, you know, we can be edgier. You know that the audience is already prepped for it. And if they're not, then they shouldn't be at that show.
I was just gonna say that if it's not in the fucking title, you know, like it's pretty clear. You know what I mean?
If I say queef and somebody goes, then I'll be like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
Yeah, exactly.
Get her out.
Yeah. I also want to know more about the jam. So this, for me, I think is two of the greatest things ever. So you're bringing comedy and you're bringing music together. I would love to be on this show. I watch videos of it and I'm like, fuck, like this is insane and so much fun. How did you come up with this idea first? And do you remember the first time you did it?
Yes, I remember all of it. The idea came because I had a friend who's no longer with us, one of the greatest comics I've ever met, my best friend ever, love of my life, Angelo Bowers. Research him. There's a few videos of his stand-up out there, but he passed away in 2012. But there was a theater in Los Angeles called the Unknown Theater. These two girls ran a show, and after the show, it became a speakeasy where comics would just go and drink, because the guy that owned the theater was just into art and getting fucked up. Okay. And he had instruments everywhere. And so I started noticing them, and I wouldn't really be doing stand-up on the show because I was so early on in my career. I think I've been doing stand-up for like a month or two. Okay. But I gravitated towards that place because it was like the guy was into artistic freedom, and it was a fun place to hang on Sundays. And when I saw those instruments, and like J. Chris Newberg and Chris Porter brought their guitars, people just wanted to start playing, and I would play drums, or I would sing, or I'd play guitar. And I noticed just how much the comics were into that. And there was a big birthday party there one night where just everybody was singing and dancing. And then there was a house band, LMNOP, that played at that theater a lot. And they were very, very talented. And they just had you know, two guys that could make it seem like a full band was playing. And I became friends with them. And then when those two girls dropped the show, I took it over and I brought the band on as like a house band.
Nice.
And the band was the light. So when the band walked on stage, you had 2 minutes. But I would notice in those 2 minutes that the band was up there, comics would start playing around with the band. And then I just sat on it. I sat on it for 4 years. Well, no longer, 6 years. 2014. We did a variation of it at this small, shitty coffee shop called Marika. And I'm only calling it by name because the woman that owned it was a cunt.
Shout out.
So I hope she lost her business during the coronavirus. I'm assuming it went under way before that.
Right.
Are you listening, Marika? You fucking bitch. She was just a horrible person. And we did 2 jams there under the title of the goddamn comedy jam, but it was not the jam. It was just me with the band playing around, and then the comics would go up, but it got a little bit of buzz. We had a falling out with her, and then I refocused on stand-up again. Mm-hmm. And then I did actually New Faces. I did New Faces in 2013, and then nothing really was happening afterwards, like no big agents, no big managers. And so I said, I'm going to try this show out. You know, I'm funny enough. I'm confident enough. And then it all fell into place. It was like, Burr, I ran into Bill Burr the next day after I had already talked about doing it. And I pitched him the idea, and he was like, I'm in. I was like, I'm in. And I was like, sweet. And then I found the venue, and it just came together. It was such a hit right off the jump because, and when I say Angelo Bowers, because I said that at the beginning and I just realized, was that he was the one that said to me, you need to figure out a way to include music into your act and everything you do, because I can tell that you're happier. You're so good at singing and playing music and being this like big personality or like front man.
Right. Yeah.
And so what's been great for my stand-up is that, you know, because the jam took off and my stand-up would still always just be me talking about, you know, there'd be music, I'd sing and stuff, but it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't me yet. And then over the when the pandemic hit and it reopened everything back up, that was when I started like going like, well, I'm going to do what I do during the jam in my stand-up, even without a band. Mm-hmm. And that's where I've seen all the success and the individuality of, you know, performance come in, because there's nobody that can do what I do. No ego. It's just, there's nobody.
I see that right away with speaking to you. I mean, so you fucking do everything. I mean, you do stand up. You're a multi-instrumentalist. Clearly, you said you play drums, guitar.
I'm not good at a lot of them. I can play it. I can play. You give me a fiddle and give me an hour with it and I'll be like, all right,
you'll figure it out.
There's Marietta Little Lamb, but I'm not like fucking, you know, Yitzhak Rabin, like, you know, like shredding by the end of it. I don't even know if that's the guy. That might have been a Jewish prime minister. Can somebody check my math on that? Yitzhak Rabin. I think there's another guy, Yitzhak Perlman. Boom.
Oh, there you go. That's the one.
That's the dude. The guy who's got the Forrest Gump crutches. Yeah.
Before we let you go, you're obviously a huge music fan. Your podcast, The 500, which you pretty much talk about albums, right? I mean, how important has music been in your life that you were like, fuck it, I'm going to do everything and have this podcast about?
It's just my brand. I don't know how to, it's not even like I'm saying, like people say, well, what's your brand? Like, what are you? Somebody told me, and I'll give her a shout, Sarah Tiana. I remember she's very funny writer, funny comic. And I remember we were talking about careers and she goes, whatever you are, lean into it. Lean into whatever you are. She's like, I'm a Southern belle. I'm from the South and I love sports. So everything, sports podcast, I talk about being Southern on stage. I lean into it. And that really stuck out to me. And, you know, it's not like I'm doing the jam just because I think this would be fun. It's like, that's who I am. It makes me happy. And the podcast was just me getting tired of new music and not having anything to listen to and starting that. And then the new podcast I'm starting, which is still talking comedy and music with other comics, is not set. And it's not like the 500 is great. And we have diehards that listen to it. We get good numbers, but it's like we're set in stone to that list. That list sucks. That list is horrible. I hate that list because you'll get Wu-Tang and fucking Rage Against the Machine back to back, and then you'll get 9 albums that no one's ever heard of.
Yeah, no one gives a shit.
No one gives a shit about Jefferson Starship live in San Francisco in 1971. I don't. So what I'm just saying, it's like I'm not trying to be this comedy music guy. It's just when I was 6, I said to my dad, I want to be a rock star and I also want to be a comic. And my dad was like, well, you can't do both. And I'm like, and I just wish he was alive today, man, because I would rub it in his fucking face. I'd be like, I told you, dude. I told you. Yes, I put water in the lawnmower. That's my bad, but I fucking did it, dude.
You fucking did it.
And I make a good living off it, which is stupid.
Last question for you. It's our signature question here on the podcast. And I can't wait to hear your answer.
9 inches.
What song would you have played at your funeral?
Stardust by Nat King Cole.
That's beautiful.
So it's one of my favorite songs of all time. Either that or Vincent by Don McLean. Those are my 2 cry songs.
All right. Those are your fucking
those. I almost cried just thinking about it because I love those songs too so much. And it's like they're so they touch me, especially Vincent. Vincent is 100%. I put
beautiful
that on
song.
And I cry and not just cry, I weep. Especially on the little bridge when it's like, on this hopeless night, when it's night, you took your life as lovers often do. But I could have told you, Vincent, the world was never meant for one as beautiful as you. It's fucking great.
Just take a knife and stab you in the throat.
Or Crazy Bitch by Buck Cherry. You know, it's like, oh, y'all crazy bitch, y'all mesquite got doodle that pop of this, and y'all here. So I'd play the sad one, and then I'd have that one. I'd have that one come on like halfway through, and have the guy who's running the sound be like, I don't know what's going on. Something's wrong with the iPod.
It's his spirit. Yeah,
it's his spirit. What's yours?
Oh fuck! No one's ever asked me that. I don't know. Probably fucking. I don't know. I'll get back to you.
You gotta have answers ready, because on my podcast, I'll ask a question and then people go, well, what's yours? And I'm like, fuck.
Probably like honestly, I would go like "Use Me" by Bill Withers.
So what you want? That's what you want them to like use your body?
I don't know, but that song is always the one that it's one of my favorite songs, and I love Bill Withers. So it was just it was one of the first song that came to head. You know.
Yeah, dude. But, all right. Well, you know, mine's way better.
Yours way better.
Yeah.
I'll have to fucking think about this.
Think about it and get back to me. I'm going to see you at the festival.
I will. Josh, thanks so much, man. I appreciate
it. My pleasure. Thank you for making this quick and painless, bruh.
Oh, my pleasure. I'll see you at the fest.
Yes, bud.
Ciao. We got to keep moving on right here on SnobCast. Super excited to welcome the hilarious and lovely Atsuko Okatsuka.
Hi, Gianni. Sorry, the other one I came out of was ended a little late.
No worries. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'll do the formal introduction. So welcome to SnobCast. And
thank you so much.
It's an honor to have you here. Atsuko, I mean, Just for Laughs, Montreal. It's not your first time here, is it?
It is my first time.
Holy shit. Also, you can cuss and swear on this, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm taking your lead.
Yeah.
I'll parrot what you say. Holy shit, right?
Right? That's insane. How do you feel? And you're bringing your new show, The Intruder. Mm-hmm. Tell us a bit about everything.
Yeah. So Canada, so I've been in the States. Mm-hmm. I've been in LA 20 something years, and so always hearing about that magical land, magical place, Canada. And then so I got to go to Toronto for the first time just a couple weeks ago for JFL Toronto,
right?
And so my first time in Montreal, and I'm super excited. The Intruder is a show that I sort of put together during the pandemic, because we had a lot of time on our hands, we had a lot of time with ourselves, and and then sort of this incident happened during the pandemic that was very pivotal, I think, in my life, my recent life. And
Okay.
yeah, where I sort of realized like the things that I thought made me a freak were kind of my superpowers, you know.
Sick.
And yeah, so that's sort of like, I think, what I hope people can take away from it and relate to
And I mean,
for
you're not here for
themselves.
one show. It's like you're here from the July 21st till the 29th. So they got a lot of fucking opportunities to see this show. I mean,
Right, yeah. So I'm doing it 8 times, and
yeah.
then I'm on Variety's Top 10 show on the 30th as well. Yeah,
You're also on Chelsea Handler's Gala, which is
right. On
what
the
I just learned as well on that. I think it's the 28th, right?
yeah, yeah.
Tell me a bit about your relationship with Chelsea because you were on was it Kimmel together?
Hmm, hmm.
She was co-hosting. What's your relationship with her?
Yeah, so I grew up watching her like in my
Right.
garage, living with my mom and grandma. We would always be like, Chelsea's on, Chelsea's on. And uh yeah, and then sort of recent years, like, we connected online. We
Oh
could,
wow.
I mean, honestly, like this past year, I feel like we connected online, and then I opened for her, and then we just sort of really hit it off and became friends. And we keep up with each other. She acts as a mentor too, if I
Hmm.
have questions. And then she had me on when she was guest hosting for Kimmel. Yeah, so
Right.
that's sort of our friendship. A lot of laughs, a lot of doing the drop challenge,
Yeah.
the challenge I created. And
Tell us more about that actually. That's one of my questions.
oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
just me and my grandma trying to have a good time, and then we accidentally started something that people worldwide wanted to take a part of. And I love that. I think it's cool. It
Um,
doesn't earn any money because, it's just for fun.
right. And I mean, I did some of my research before while I was waiting for you, and there's a clip of you on YouTube that you were performing during an earthquake at the Ice House.
Yeah.
I I just would like to know, first of all, you handled the situation super well because you're like,
Thank
is this
you.
actually happening? Like, what the hell's going on? But what's
Yeah.
going on in your head? Because on stage, you're being one way, but what's going on inside while this is
Well,
happening?
I mean, honestly, comedy is like you have to stay so present
Right.
anyway. You never want to have an out of body experience while you're performing. You
Hmm.
never want to be like out of your body watching yourself perform. That means something's wrong. A lot of
Right.
things are wrong. So it helps that you're already like having to stay present, ready to handle any weird thing that happens in the room anyway. That's a comedian's job, is to
Hmm.
entertain, but also sort of protect the audience too in a weird way.
Right.
Make sure that there's a goddamn show that continues. And so when an earthquake hit, and with my chaotic upbringing, I always joke that I thrive in chaos. Like when the pandemic hit, I took it as an opportunity to like work even harder, and so all of that I think culminates to the earthquake. I don't know if you rewatch the clip, like you can sort of see my brain pattern, what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So when it hits, first the reaction is confusion, obviously, confusion and assessing the situation, realizing it's an earthquake. But then as a performer, for me, I want to make sure the audience is okay first. So I'm
Hmm.
not going to immediately start doing jokes. I think
No,
that's very important.
you assess the situation. I mean, and like I said, you did it very well.
You have to assess it, and you have to comment on it, make sure people are okay, while still entertaining them, So that's why I was like, I'm not equipped for this. I went to art school, making sure that while I'm making sure everyone's okay, I'm still, at least doing some self-deprecating jokes there, right? About like, look, I know you're looking at me like I'm going to be your leader, like I'm Moses, going to
Right.
split the sea. I went to art school, don't know anything about how to handle this. Okay. And then, once the earthquake has calmed down and everyone's okay, I then went into jokes, more hard jokes. And, not to fluff my feathers, but yeah, that's my thought process. And I feel like comedy is very similar in that you have to assess situations, before you even start doing jokes. If something's wild is happening in the room,
Mhm.
you have to talk about it.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if you don't talk about it, it's just awkward, right?
You have to take care of it first instead of being
Yeah.
like, I memorized these jokes, So I'm doing it, and it's like
good night.
There's a person having a seizure. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
You got to acknowledge that first.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
I'm curious to know how comedy started for you. Was it a weird thing? Was it some sort of dare? Was it or did you just step on stage one night and say fuck it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a gradual process, really, like because you need to find self-awareness and confidence, the comedy environment, right? Depending on when you started, where you started, the folks that are around you, like if you didn't have a supportive environment, it sometimes could take longer, unless because you have to find it within yourself,
Right.
and to get up, to write jokes, to go out there and be willing to maybe fail and then rewrite and find the fuel to continue doing it. And so, yeah, I started, yeah, like, I knew of stand-up comedy, like maybe from like middle school on,
Okay.
but and I loved the form, the art form, but I didn't know I could maybe really do it until even more recent years. I feel like, I started when I was like in my 20s, and I still was scared. I was like, I don't know if I could just go to an open mic. Also back then, open mics open mics happen in like alleyways,
Yeah, anywhere.
someone's garage,
Yeah.
at night, right? As a girl, I was like, I don't really know if I want to go do that on my own. I think that's how people go missing.
Right.
You have to either bring a friend or
Yeah.
something, you know what I mean? And so I found a class online, and that's how I started.
Amazing.
Instead of just like going at midnight to some guy's garage where it's supposedly an open mic,
Right, right. This is the extravagant open mic tonight. It's a garage.
Yeah, totally. And it's like you're thinking about you want to do well with your jokes, but also like, am I gonna get kidnapped? That's not good.
There's like 12 people there. You're like,
I want to focus on the jokes. Yeah. So I started with a stand-up comedy class.
Oh, amazing.
And that helped. Yeah.
Talk to me about this new movie, the Washingtonia, that you're part of. I looked it up, and is it Stephen Colbert that's the executive producer of this film?
He is. Yeah, it was supposed to come out in the fall, so maybe.
Yeah, I didn't see a date. That's why I'm
on Paramount. Yeah, I'm just like a congressional aide, a very twisted congressional aide in it.
Love it.
Yeah, and yeah, it was really fun. I think her name was Candace Fisher, modeled after. Yeah, I won't name who it's modeled after, but it's just like American corrupt government folk. Yeah, it was fun.
Awesome. So we're looking for that in the fall. Before we let you go, we're big mental health advocates here. During the pandemic, did you really kick your ass in order to write, to just keep the creative fluids going? Like how was that process for you during those darker times?
Yeah, like I said, like I quote unquote thrive in chaos because so my mom has schizophrenia, and I grew up in a family that doesn't really like laugh at things, and so my therapy was always trying to find levity in situations or trying to get other people to laugh. And so naturally, just like when an earthquake hits, when a pandemic hits, I wasn't surprised that my natural instinct was to continue to try to entertain and make people laugh. And so, yeah, I just like dug in deeper and was like, I'm also a workaholic. So I was like, I'll write even more jokes.
So you just constantly kept like being stimulated and were like, I need to just keep writing and writing. And then here we are with The Intruder, right? So
yeah, totally.
Amazing. Atsuko, you've been lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I look forward to seeing you at the festival, and enjoy your time in Montreal. It's wild out here.
I will. I'm excited. Yeah.
Be good.
Take care, Johnny.
Bye.
Bye.
Our final guest on SnobCast today is none other than Randy Feltface, the hilarious Australian comic. I can't wait. Randy, how you doing? You're there.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's the welcome to SnobCast, by the way.
Hey, SnobCast, what's up?
What's up? You're the first non-human to ever be on this podcast.
Well, welcome to the majesty of my purple face.
It's gorgeous, looking great.
It's nice to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm here in Montreal, gearing up for this so-called comedy festival that we got going on.
So cold.
So-called, yeah. And I know you'll be there with your new hour, Alien of Extraordinary Ability. Not just for one fucking show, but for like a lot of shows.
8 fucking shows.
Can you imagine that?
Can I imagine that?
Yeah.
I can. I can imagine it. I'm thinking about it right now. Feels good. Because right
great.
after that, I go to Edinburgh and do 28 in a row. So 8
Oh,
is
shit.
fine. Yeah.
Amazing. Tell us a
Yeah,
bit
I can't
about
wait.
this. Tell us a bit about this special. And I mean, you've been to the festival before. What can we expect from you?
You can expect a brand new hour of non-stop, relentless comedy. This show is all about the fact that I'm a critically endangered species, right?
It's
There's only
true.
one of me left. Yeah, I'm the only one. So I'm exploring that. I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about what I've done, where I'm going. My imminent demise is looming over me.
Yeah.
So it's a slightly reflective show, but it's also quite joyous and silly. And I talk a lot about what's happening at the moment on the planet, and maybe try to frame it in a not too, what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Kind of devastated, maybe disastrous, kind of despairing.
Huge words.
I'm thinking of other D words.
Yeah.
Dystopian,
Wow.
I'm trying not to go there and keep it more in the hey, look, we can still make changes.
Yeah. Oh, well, we're looking forward to it. I mean, it'll be very exciting.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be good. It's brand new. I'm gonna do a little preview this weekend before I get up there, and hopefully it's not a complete disaster. And then away we go, my friend. We're off and racing.
Can't wait. I mean, yeah, like I said before, you've been to Montreal a few times. I got 2 questions that pertain to Montreal. Do you remember the first time you did the festival?
Yes, very well.
Well, how was that? And how was it received?
It was mind-blowing. I was on the Nerd Gala with my comedy husband, Sammy J. And I don't know if you know that, but we have a duo.
Yes.
And we did the Nerd Gala. We sang a couple of songs. It was hosted by 2 of the dudes from The Big Bang Theory.
Oh,
and it was a surreal experience. I had a very nice time. I met some wonderful people who I'm still friends with to this very day. I was only there for I don't know, I think we were there for like 4 days, 5 days maybe. And I made some lifelong friends, and I loved it. Montreal is a wonderful city. I'm obsessed with that city. And I feel like a little bit at home when I'm there, weirdly enough now.
I was going to mention the fact that the festival is kind of known as like comedy camp, right? I mean, is this somewhere, having been away from it for 2 years because of this so-called pandemic thing they got going on? What are you looking most forward to besides your shows? Are you looking forward to reconnecting with everyone and all that?
Very much. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of international comics who I haven't seen for many years. I am looking forward to seeing some shows. Hopefully, I don't know how much time I'll have. And I'm very much looking forward to being a part of the Patton Oswalt Gala. That's melting my face.
Right? Patton Oswalt, a legend.
Terrifying. It's terrifying, but also very exciting. Like the lineup is out of control. So I'm really
the lineup is fantastic. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So that's going to be cool. And just really kind of meeting some new people and having a nice time. It is kind of like comedy camp, but it's also a little bit of an industry kind of festival as well. So, I tend to avoid all the meetings in hotel foyers where everybody's crunching numbers and pitching shows. And I just like to walk around and catch up with old chums.
I love that. My other question pertaining to Montreal is, like I said, you've probably had some wild times here. Can you tell us about one of those wild times that you remember, of course? I mean,
there was a time in, what year was it? It would have been 2015. That year. I remember it so well. It's crazy. I didn't leave my hotel room until I had to go and do shows. and then I just went back to my hotel room
So
for
straight.
5 days.
Wow.
Just crazy, just absolute wild shenanigans. It was insane. I don't drink. I don't really stay out too late. I don't have fun or have a nice time wherever I go. So I don't have any crazy stories. This year, I'm looking forward to doing some bird watching. Since last time I was in Montreal, I've gotten into bird watching. So I'm looking forward to going up Montreal and having a look and seeing.
I think our seagulls got larger, so maybe you can let me know.
During COVID?
Yeah,
Is
I don't know
that
what
a side
happened.
effect?
Yeah,
That
I think
must be
so.
A side effect.
Long
That's
COVID.
Terrifying.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
They're
I love your
already
T-shirt,
pretty
by the
big.
way. I love your T-shirt, by the way.
My little David Bowie T-shirt.
David Bowie
Yeah,
T-shirt,
thanks, man.
fucking awesome.
Like to
All right.
rock a bit of David Boz on a weekday. Yeah.
Hey, Randy.
Is he one of those many compact discs on the wall behind you?
Correct.
It's not often that you see people still rocking a wall of CDs.
That's just because I don't have.
Respect.
Yeah, that's what I have left of my CDs, but I got like vinyl crates all over the floor. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereabouts in Montreal do you live? Which neighborhood?
The East End, so Saint Leonard.
All right, great.
We're mostly Italian here.
I'm coming over to play some records when I'm
Come
in
over
town.
whenever you want. Come over.
Put on the kettle. I'll be there.
You could just crash on my couch if you want. That's easier.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
I sleep very soundly, as you know, from my previous hilarious anecdote.
Right.
All
Are
right.
you more of a pizza or pasta kind of guy?
Pepe. Oh, tricky question. Is this on the back of the Italian reference? I like pizza, but I'm vegan as well.
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah, I know. So vegan cheese on pizza can be real hit and miss. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, but with pasta, I'm into like the lentil pastas. People hate me for this, but I like pasta made out of like lentil and adzuki bean and hemp and pumpkin and shit. So pasta is one of my, if I'm on tour and I have a place with a kitchen, this place, I'm in Washington, DC right now, in the fucking situation room here. And if I'm on the road and I have a stove, pasta, I just get some pasta. I get some pesto, vegan pesto.
Pesto's the best.
Bit of zucchini, bit of mushroom, few tomatoes, bit of spinach, maybe some arugula or rocket, as I prefer to call it.
Yes.
And then I make myself a big old bowl of that, chuck it down my gob, go out there, tell some jokes for the people.
Now I'm just starving. So
get in there, have some pasta. I grant you full license.
Thank you.
Eat as much pasta today as you want.
Thank you so much. My grandmother would be proud. My grandmother would be so proud.
Change it to pasta cast.
Randy, I got two more questions for you.
Okay, quick. We've got 3 minutes. Go.
Let's do it. We're also huge, aside from being huge music lovers here, we're huge movie lovers. What's one of your favorite films?
I was just writing a bit about the 2018 action thriller Liam Neeson film, The Commuter. Have you seen that?
I have, yes.
Oh, cinematic masterpiece. Scene in that. Do you remember the fight scene on the train with the guitar?
Yes.
Oh, I really want to talk to you more about it, but I'm going to talk about it in the show. So I'm going to save it.
Perfect.
Great question. Next question.
My last question is our signature question here, and it is, what song would you have played at your funeral?
This is mind-blowing because in the show, I talk about this as well because I'm an endangered species, but I don't want to say the song that I chose in the show. So
we'll have to come see the show.
Do you know there's an artist called Alexander Wolf. He's a musician from the UK, and I first came across him. He was doing a show in Edinburgh. He was doing the that every time I listen to it, I go, this was kind of designed to be played at a funeral. And I am stalling a tiny bit while I'm explaining this to you because I'm trying to remember the name of the song, and I will, and you'll hear it when I remember it very soon. But the name of the song that I'm thinking of is called, what's it called? I'll get it. You know what? I'll Google it. Hang on. Wait. Yep. This is terrible podcasting. Don't listen. Edit this out. Don't. I'm Googling out of frame. I can sing it for you, but I can't remember.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hang on. I got it. I got it. It's called, I think it's called Into the Deep. I think it's called Into the Deep.
Alexander Wolf.
Into the Deep. And it's Wolf as in WOLFE.
Of course, the E at the end is very important.
It's not a Bowie track. It's
No.
not a rock and roll track. But when I listen to it, I'm like, you can almost see the moment where the coffin would get lowered. You know what I mean? Like you can hear it. It's epic. It's an epic death song. But anyway, let's go with that. It doesn't make me look cool. It makes me look a bit emo, but I'm into it. Alexander Wolf is an incredible, incredible singer-songwriter. Look him up.
I will. And thank you so much, Randy, for being here. And I look
Next
forward.
time we speak, I want to see one of his CDs on your wall of CDs.
Yeah, because when you come over, we'll make sure I have the album here.
What song do you want played at your funeral?
Probably something by Bill Withers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just because I don't know.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing voice, good tunes.
Yeah. Randy,
use me. Maybe.
That's actually what I was gonna go with. A lot of people were like, "Why?" Because you want people to use you, and I was like, "Well, it's already been happening. I'm dead." So.
Oh, dude, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I'm glad we ended on that note. Thank you so much for having me. I'll see you in Montreal.
Randy, be good.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for joining us today on SnobCast. Thanks to Josh Adam Meyers. Thanks to fucking Atsuko Okatsuka. And thank you so much to Randy Feltface. Once again, shout out to C2 Communications out in Toronto, Leanne and Charlene. Mwah. The best in the business. The Just for Laughs Festival, wow, I didn't say that properly, runs until July 31st here in Montreal. If you're around, you got to check out these shows. Check out these amazing comics and their shows. You can get your tickets at hahaha.com. That's where everything is. You know, send me a DM if you got any questions, but hahaha.com is where it's at. Shout out to Lino Creatives, our producer, editor, and of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment on social media, Snob Media, and YouTube. Do all that. Until next week, thank you so much for joining. And don't forget to laugh and stay snobby, everybody.